the heart of Mr. Jean Chinese. In the early days of September 2017, when the joy of the new school year kickoff has been spreading in each page of books, each notebook, letter and problems that have been taught by the teachers of the elementary school and junior high school brought here, over 340 children of Mother Huynh Huong, the founder and director of Huynh Humanitarian Center in Tân Long Quarter, Tân Dong Hiệp Ward, Giang Town, have been flooded in another greater joy and happiness. They are now in their mother's lap again after over half a year of separation. The mother's return has helped fill up all the gaps and all the lack of deficiency of both physical and mental needs. Additionally, accompanying the mother on this return trip is Mr. Jean Chinese, a compassionate volunteer who is coming from America. It is he who contributes to making the joy and happiness of the mother and her children's reunion more complete. Although Mr. Jean Chinese always stays in the center and has a strong attachment to the children in quite a short time, his feelings, interest and company to the small children has truly left a special mark or an imprint, an unforgettable memory among all of the children.
I think this is very important for the child development, and I think it's wonderful they have a program such as this one, and the children could learn discipline, and they'll be more successful in life if they have discipline.
Mr. Jean Chinese must be a warm volunteer whose heart has been loaded with love to children and lofty charitable benefactions, and most importantly, he always cherishes and appreciates the hurt and the great sacrifice of these children's mother, Miss Huynh Huong. It is such the reasons that makes international volunteer like Mr. Jean Chinese be ready to travel halfway around the world or the globe to pay a visit to the shelter called Huynh in the faraway Vietnam, and then stay here, have meals, play and fun, and come here with the kids, as well as supply them with shed loads of knowledge, skills, and valuable gifts. Indeed, there is something nobler and prouder when the mother used to be a street child constantly battered, having tasted and experienced all kinds of countless waves of stormy life. This mother has leveled on adversity, ironed down own kinks, and then set up the shelter Huynh Humanitarian Center with all of her own love and responsibility. For over past 16 years, under the administration and the management of Tieu mother, Huynh Shelter has been growing up steadily. Hundreds of her infant children have been cared, nurtured, and brought up decently. In spite of facing shed loads of difficulties and obstacles, or even deliberately being done harm by some bad people, the more the time glided by, the higher the number of children who have been being cared and grown up under this shelter, while walls of housing, classrooms, and amusement parks dedicated to the children have been kept growing. It means that, apart from the restless or non-stop efforts by herself, the single mother Huynh Huong is always getting the support and belief of the social community, including several international volunteers like Mr. Jean Chinese. Despite being strangers from the start and being miles far apart in age and language, Such the differences between Mr. Jin Chinese and the children have completely and actually disappeared during the days when he bedded down under the roof of Huynh Humanitarian Center. In spite of being a construction contractor in the United States, when he came here, he did cradle, pat, joke, and had meals with his kids as if he were their natural grandfather and father. And taking full advantage of communing with the children in the short periods of time, he has taught them some English words and countless soft skills in life as well. His friendliness, cheerfulness, and open-mindedness has helped the kids feel like having fun and communing or talking with a fairy, although they are learning with him. It feels like that there is no gap in geography, ethnicity, skin color, and language at all now. The children's pairs of brown eyes, which are glowing their happiness, and the brilliant baby face features, which are shining out their radiant joy, have almost squeezed Mr. Jin Chinese gentle glance, along with his gentle, loving, and affectionate gestures. The case absolutely coincides with the already known saying that love can help bring people closer together. Because of voluntarily coming to the children with all of his warm heart, he has quickly recognized the children's needs. Therefore, he has donated dozens of tablets and mobile phones to the children, which all are worth thousands of US dollars, to help them better learn their foreign languages and computer skills. These are really precious and meaningful gifts with the children when the new school year just started. Not only sharing his love with the children, seeing Miss Tieu Huong's noble deeds towards the suffering, poor, and miserable, he is also willing to contribute his donations. On September the 20th, 2017, he donated 3,000 US dollars, or almost 70 million Vietnam dong, and along with Miss Tieu Huong's donation, the sum amounted to 110 million Vietnam dong, which was then donated to Bình Dương Department of Labor, War Invalids and Social Affairs. Bình Dương province is going to spend donation building houses and taking care of the social protection beneficiaries in the province so that they can taste the better living conditions. Doing likewise, a dash of aromatic flavor Huynh Tieu Huong has actually pervaded and stretched far beyond the border of a small province of Bình Dương and a country like Vietnam, and then appealed as well as had love and affection connected so that certain kinks and plights of this life can be ironed out and partially reduced, and how people or humans live to love each other. Seeing charitable beneficence as her breath and the reason for living of her own lifespan, Miss Huynh Tieu Huong has been cherishing set loads of dreams and intentions for her children and the needy as well. She always dreams of having further Huynh shelters like this for orphaned and disabled children. Many new schools will be built on the shelter's campuses so as to proceed with fulfilling the unfinished dreams of poor and disabled but thirsty for knowledge children. There will be further hospitals to be built lastly thanks to the contribution of the social community, so that while being got sick, the needy folk suffering from miserable plights to the end will not be on pins and needles because of having no money for medical treatment. And she has many more dreams down the road. But perhaps being alone without any joint hands, she is going to find it hardly or unlikely to realize them all. Hopefully, Huynh Humanity Center and the herd of over 340 children will keep getting the companion, the company, and the sharing of Mr. Jin Chinese and various generosity of hearts far and near, as well as the international volunteers, so that the children's dreams can be fulfilled and the needy and the lowly elderly can taste a brighter life and future. We definitely believe that with the companion and the support of the social community, Miss Huynh Tieu Huong will feel like more powerfully, firmly setting her steps along the humanitarian journey down the road.
Không phải riêng trẻ ở trung tâm quê hương, mà bất cứ trẻ ở đâu, bất cứ trẻ ở tỉnh nào, địa phương nào thì cũng mong được xã hội, đặc biệt các người mẹ đừng bỏ những đứa con của mình dù khó khăn mấy, và cũng mong rằng xã hội, cộng đồng hãy chung tay cùng Tiểu Hương, cũng giống như những người có tấm lòng nhân ái để bảo vệ sự sống của trẻ. Vì trẻ thơ không phải cần cho ăn và cho mặc, mà trẻ thơ cần yêu thương, cần sự bảo vệ.
Xin miếng cơm luôn đong đầy, tình yêu cũng dâng. Xin